Welcome back to the channel. We've got some big news items to cover today. I wanted to make a video last night, just didn't have the time for it. So I'm doing it now because the big story involves the Oshawa Generals. Connor Lockhart has been suspended indefinitely. So this is going to be a big hit for this Oshawa team that's been very competitive of late. They've been one of the hotter teams in the Ontario Hockey League. So it was announced yesterday, the OHL saying that Oshawa Generals forward Connor Lockhart has been suspended indefinitely for a league and team code of conduct matter. They don't specify what happened, but it did come out that Durham Regional Police are conducting an investigation in connection to that code of conduct breach. No charges have been laid, so once there's charges, if there are charges, then we'll get a better understanding as to what went on involving Connor Lockhart. Lockhart, he did miss the last 4 games for the Oshawa Generals. He was out before the news of the police investigation came out. He was out due to violating a team rule. And usually you see this if it's maybe a player that breaks curfew or who knows what it could be. I don't want to start speculating as to what transpired, but that's typically what happens when a player misses time is because of a curfew situation. But obviously it's got to be more than just a curfew thing if the Durham Regional Police are investigating. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. I know there's a lot of speculation on the internet. I don't want to dive into the speculation because you have to figure these are all people. Connor Lockhart and his family, they're impacted by this. And then if there's a victim or who knows what, we don't want to be dragging people through the mud. But still, a tough situation right now for Connor Lockhart. He was acquired back in November from the Peterborough Petes. He's been actually playing really well. He was a big part of that Peterborough Petes championship team last year. And since coming over from the Petes at the beginning of November, he's got 20 goals, 19 assists, good for 39 points in 30 games. And really, since that trade and then Callum Ritchie coming back and the team getting healthy, Oshawa has been playing some really good hockey. They're right now first in the East Division, 3 points behind the Sudbury Wolves for first spot in the Eastern Conference standings. So it's got to be tough here for the Oshawa Generals because you know with this, is it a distraction for the team? They lost to Kingston the other night at home, and you kind of wonder with everything going on, and the players they kind of have a sense of what's going on involving Connor Lockhart, who has not been at the arena for the last few games as a result of this situation. But it is tough. You got to remember these are humans. They're these athletes. They've got situations going on behind the scenes. Look at what's going on with John Tavares of the Toronto Maple Leafs with the CRA. He's that's got to be affecting his game with what's going on off the ice. So for the players with the Generals, this is going to be a situation where they're going to want to try and figure out a way to get this out of their mindset and not be too distracted. But also for Lockhart, he's the overage forward on this Oshawa Generals team. So if they do, lay charges in this situation, that might be it for Connor Lockhart's junior hockey career. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So again, Connor Lockhart being suspended indefinitely for a code of conduct issue is what the Ontario Hockey League is saying. So I'll keep following this story. If there are any other developments that come about, I'll post a video adding it to the channel. So if you want to stay tuned with that, you can always subscribe down below. Now, we do have a couple more news items to touch. First, it's the Saddleton Arena expansion update here in the city of Barrie. A year ago, City Council, they were presented with multiple options for expanding the arena. They've got 6 options that were presented, and they range in price between $12.3 million and $43.5 million. So it could be a grand expansion. It could be just some tweaks with adding some seating. But that's the main thing because they want to expand the arena so they can attract bigger sporting events to the city of Barrie, like the Memorial Cup or the Brier for curling. But last night, City Council, they've taken a step towards expansion as they want to raise the municipal accommodation tax. And all that money would then be put into a reserve fund for the expansion project. So it's not a big step per se, but it is a step in the direction. So it seems as though Barrie City Council on board with wanting to expand the arena at some point. Now, the home of the Barrie Colts, it opened in 1995, so it's approaching 30 years of age. It seats 4,200 fans, but that expansion would increase the capacity to around 5,000. And typically a 5,000 seat arena would attract events such as the Memorial Cup or the Brier. So that's what the city is looking at. There's no formal plan for expansion just yet. They just have the options that were presented to them last summer, but we'll have to see. This is just an early step as they want to this tax, they say, will generate about $1.3 million towards the project by the end of 2025. So that is a good chunk of change for the city. And of course, they don't want to go to the taxpayers and propose increasing taxes, because some people get pretty upset when it's taxpayer dollars that are going towards an expansion of an arena such as this. So I think it's good on city council looking at ways to raise money for this project, as they want to keep the Barrie Colts happy and competitive, and maybe bring in big tournaments like the Memorial Cup. But we'll have to wait and see what comes next from this. And you know what? I wanted to look at attendance as well, because I'm at every home game doing the Rogers TV broadcasts from the booth, and it seems to me that the attendance is up from last season, and the numbers don't lie. The average attendance this season so far, 3,541 fans. That is 12th in the Ontario Hockey League. The numbers, they are up from last season. The Colts last year averaged 3,376 fans. So that's about a 200 difference from last year. And they were sitting 13th overall in attendance. So some good signs there for the Barrie Colts. And we'll have to wait and see what happens next. So it still has to go to City Council for final approval to increase the accommodation tax. But it seems like the City of Barrie is heading in that direction of expanding the Saddleland Arena. And one other arena update to pass your way, Brantford. They've moved on to the next step for their project. They are looking to build a 5,000-seat arena next to the current Brantford Civic Center. It could be something that gets underway sooner rather than later. The city, they did a survey asking residents on their opinions and whether or not they want to see a new arena built. And 81% say they're in favor of a new OHL size arena. So that's encouraging news if you're a Brantford Bulldogs fan. But the next step is they're going to be looking to get the staff, they're going to look to get a proposal together. They want to also get a feasibility study done for the proposal and get some partners. So that's the next step where the city of Brantford is. So it's a long process to figure out, okay, we know we've got the support of the city. How much is it going to cost? That's the next part. And there's some estimates out there. It's going to be, it's not going to be a cheap build for the city of Brantford, but that's where if you can get some partners, get some corporate partners, we'll see if the Brantford Bulldogs will contribute to the construction. Obviously, the plan right now officially is that the Bulldogs would move back to Hamilton once the renovations are done at the First Ontario Centre. But there is a clause that the team could stay in Brantford. We'll have to wait and see. Brantford has embraced the Bulldogs quite well. I was able to go to one of the games when the Colts were down at the Brantford Civic Center, and the atmosphere was electric. It was a ton of fun. I know it's a smaller facility that they're playing out of, but man, home ice advantage there for the Bulldogs is going to be something else when the playoffs roll around. So we'll have to wait and see on that. We're also waiting to find out what's going on with the First Ontario Centre in Hamilton. From my understanding, renovations have not yet started. So that's where, the Bulldogs probably could have played this season in Hamilton. But because of all the renovation plans, they decided to go to Brantford, sign that 3-year agreement to play out during the renovations, but they could extend it for 3 more years after that, or just agree to play in Brantford long term. So we'll have to wait and see. It is exciting times for the city of Brantford as they're showing that they are a junior hockey market. And there's a lot of fans who are pretty excited about the developments involving the arena. So let me know in the comments section down below your thoughts in regards to either the arena plans for the city of Barrie or Brantford. What's also interesting, I didn't touch on this, is that the mayor of Brantford, Kevin Davis, he was in Barrie a couple weeks ago with city councilors getting some ideas for a project for the city of Brantford. But that also happened to be when the Saddleland Arena was having its audio issues. So it's really neat seeing that the Brantford mayor, he is so excited. He's going out, seeing all the different rinks, getting ideas, and learning even from what goes on here in Barrie. So I'd love to see the comments down below, your thoughts on the arena situations. Also, if you want to share your thoughts on what's going on involving Connor Lockhart and the Oshawa Generals, love to see the interaction. It's been great seeing this channel continue to grow. I thank you for your support. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. This channel, all about the Ontario Hockey League with a focus on the Barrie Colts because that's a team I cover, but I like looking at what's going on around the OHL. So love the support. Consider subscribing and don't forget to hit like, and we'll talk to you again soon.